Maestro Maestro, and we are back on the streets of Paris to broadcast this protest, this women's march in Paris. We got over 40 organizations co-sponsoring the event, and they just got really noisy lately. So let's go check this out. Don't forget, everybody, you can share to Facebook, you can share to Twitter, you can invite your followers. Hopefully we got a better connection than we did a little bit earlier today. It was good for a little while, and then it stopped out. If you looked at my Twitter feed, you saw that I got really good signal here. 171 megs down, which is like crazy. Привет, здравствуйте, как вы поживаете? How are you guys here today? So, Sonam is here. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Bobby's vlogs. Sadly, you don't think Trump cares what's happening in France. I don't think it's his top priority. Thought I would agree with you. Here they go. It's going to get noisy. They got really noisy about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Trump isn't your president. They have signs that say that. Trump is not my president. So it's a women's march. But you're hearing all this anti-Trump stuff. That's right. It's a women's march, and it's primarily directed against Trump.
Yes, you're against Trump. Okay.
Non. Moi, je suis pas against Trump. So it's a political march. I would say it's a political march. It's a protest, yeah. Look at this. Make love, not Trump. Je recule là, à chaque fois. French do protest quite a bit. Well, originally, this demonstration was supposed to end at the Trocadero, where we find the Eiffel Tower, but the police, for some security reason, changed the direction, and instead, this march started at the Trocadero, at the Eiffel Tower, which you saw in my last scope. These women will be happy. Well, that's a good question. We'll have to ask some of these women and some of these other people what they're looking to accomplish, which is I always like to ask the protesters. Let's see, we got some here, maybe we can ask some questions. Trump is an offense to human dignity. Hi, can I ask you some questions?
Yes, of course.
Okay, awesome. So why are you guys here today?
Because it's horrible what's happening in America. It's horrible what's happening with Donald Trump.
Okay.
It's such awful. This man is not human.
Okay. Well, what exactly is happening that's so horrible? Like what? No, I mean whatever. You mentioned something is horrible happening.
Everything is done. Everything he says about women, he says that he can do everything because he's famous. He can grab.
Those comments, yeah. So
he say sexist, racist.
okay, so it's because of those comments, because of those things that he said.
Yes.
Okay.
And all his program is against knowledge.
He's against what?
Knowledge.
All right. Okay.
So it's the opposite of civilization of the human.
Okay. And what are you hoping to accomplish today? Today, what would you like to accomplish?
We would like that Trump is destitute.
You think that's possible?
I would like destitution.
You think that's possible?
Yes.
Okay.
If everybody go on the street to say, go out, Trump, we don't need a president like you. It could be possible. So all the people please come in the street and say, destitute for Trump, destitution for Trump. That's what we need.
Okay, thank you
For all the world.
thank you so much. Okay, so there you go. So we're here in Paris. What's that?
Your media?
This is Periscope. It's a live streaming on Twitter. You know this? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can follow me there. My name is Euro Maestro, and I get a lot of views. So, all right. Thanks a lot. So there you go. So we got one woman's view, why she's here, what she's protesting against, and what she hopes to accomplish. So if you didn't quite catch that, she's hoping that Trump can be removed from office. So in the U.S., there's really only a couple of ways to do that. One would be as if he were to resign, and the other way would be as if he were to be impeached.
That's right.
That's right. And that's what she's hoping for. She's hoping for impeachment. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Yes, you can.
Okay, awesome. Why are you here today?
I'm here because I couldn't be in the States, in Washington in March, and I want to make a point.
Okay. Are you from the States?
I am from the States. I'm
Which
from
one?
Miami.
Oh, in Florida.
And
Okay.
I want you to know that I did vote. I followed all the rules, and I'm one of the people, absentee ballot, that wasn't counted.
It wasn't counted. How do you know your vote wasn't counted
They
though?
sent me a letter.
Oh, they sent you a letter saying it wasn't counted.
They said that the letter stated that the envelope I sent it in
Yeah.
wasn't signed, but I never sent an envelope. I faxed it, and everything was done correctly.
Oh, so you faxed it, but they sent you a letter saying we're not counting your vote because you didn't sign the envelope. Have you protested or
I
filed a
called
complaint?
Miami-Dade, and they hung up the phone on me. So,
Oh no.
so I'm waiting to see what I can do with that.
Gotcha.
All right, because I know that I'm not the only one.
Sure.
out there.
But you're from Florida, so I take it you didn't vote for Trump, right?
No, I didn't. You know that.
And what do you think he can be impeached?
Well, I think that he is so he's so egoistic that
Uh-huh.
he will slip up.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that he has to win all the time, and in trying to win,
Yeah.
he's not really looking at the fine details. He's used to describing bullying people around.
Okay.
And he doesn't realize he can't really bully Washington. So even though he has a very successful record in real estate, and I'm sure he has a set of skills that could be very useful.
Right.
The people skills is where he's lacking in. So
I
he's
see.
just not qualified to be a politician. Definitely.
But he
to be
won.
president. He won, but it was not by the popular vote.
No, but it was close though, right?
I don't know if it was close.
Well, I mean, he got tens of millions of votes.
All right, he did, which meant because, as you realize from watching his transition process, right,
Yeah.
that he has, he's entertaining, and he is reaching that sector of population that needs to hear the things that he's saying.
I see.
All right, and when those people hear it, they want to come out. They do want him, but they don't realize what's at risk, which is why he has to honor the promises that he made quickly, and otherwise he'll be in trouble. So I don't think he'll be able to deliver on all his promises as quickly as he says, and that's when we'll see the results of that. So
And then that's when you're hoping he gets impeached.
Well, I think he might. I think it.
Yeah.
I think he will because he doesn't want to give up his business.
And do you live in France now?
I
Or?
live in France.
Oh, okay. How do you like it? How do you like it in France?
Well, I like it. I've been here a while.
Okay.
So it's okay. This is.
But you
my
still
second
vote?
year. Of course, every year.
Okay,
I
awesome.
go to the States. Okay.
Well, thanks so much for helping us. Okay, I appreciate
in
it.
English.
Yeah, sure. We're doing an English podcast. No, I'm just doing a broadcast on Periscope. So, all right. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. All right. So we got a woman from Florida. She says her vote was not counted. She said that she faxed in her absentee ballot, and they told her she got some kind of form letter saying that they didn't count her vote because she didn't sign the envelope. And she's like, of course I didn't sign the envelope. I faxed it in. So told her she should protest and get her vote counted. You voted for Euromeister, they rejected your vote. That's not true. You can vote for Euromaestro and your vote will not be rejected. At least in most states and in most jurisdictions, if not all, they do have a procedure for write-in ballots. where you can write people's name in. And every year, there's always a few people with write-ins, or not so few, but for anybody from Mickey Mouse to all sorts of people that get votes. She didn't follow the rules. She says she did, so I don't know. I don't know enough about the rules. Every state in the United States has its own sets of rules and how they handle absentee ballots. The Electoral College is the only vote that counts. That's true. That's the vote. If you want to be really literal about it, really the only vote that counts is when the vice president opens up the votes from the Electoral College, and then the results are certified in a joint session. Because it is possible, and it has happened, where the Congress will have to intervene in the election. And sometimes that has happened. Please tell them we don't need them to protest for women in America. It's funny how people relate this to Islam. Trump doesn't care at all. Here they're shouting for solidarité. Stay in the USA. That woman lives in France now. So she was originally apparently from Florida. She still votes in Florida, but she lives in France. Have there been any pro-Trump marches in France? That's a real good question. Not that I know of, but I wouldn't say that isn't the case. Somebody asked in my last scope too, like, where's Le Pen supporters and Trump supporters? So in France, just like in most jurisdictions, when you have a protest, you cannot have a counter-protest in the same location for security reasons. So they keep protests and counter-protests separated, obviously to prevent violence and for the public order. And my last anti-Donald Trump protest prior to the election, we did have a Trump supporter that entered into, actually two Trump supporters that entered into the protest. And I filmed that, but they were immediately escorted away by the police. I don't know if they were literally arrested, but they were taken by the police and escorted out very quickly. And instantly, it had created an uproar. They had walked in with pro-Trump signs into the protests. France is free to protest because of the USA. The U.S. was very instrumental in the victory in World War II, which I think is what you're referring to. So yes, as was Russia. And of course the UK. So what will people do if Trump actually does a good job? Now that is a good question. I was very interested watching the commentators analyze his inaugural speech, and pretty much the critics didn't give him credit for anything. And I thought there was something there for everybody. There was things that the critics could criticize, and I thought there were things that perhaps people could support. Does France have healthcare for all? We do. In fact, almost all of the industrialized countries in the world, with the exception of the United States, have healthcare for everyone. Yeah, they didn't give him any credit. In fact, they were comparing him to Hitler. You see there's a lot of police security here. I'm not really sure if we need it, but they're here, I guess, just in case. So you can see police with machine guns over there, and all kinds of police all around. Be safe. Yes, thank you. Здравствуйте. Как вы живете? Как дела? How's everybody? Hitler, it's so dumb. Yeah, surprisingly enough, this was from major commentators. I'm not talking about, just people on the street, because obviously people on the street say all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm talking about MSNBC commentators. We heard comparisons by Rachel Maddow and others. So it was really quite a thing. It's a beautiful city. I would say it is a very beautiful city. People throw Hitler in everything they don't agree with. Hitler does come up a lot. There's a maxim that any type of argument will eventually devolve into a Hitler reference. Putin pulls Trump's strings, says someone. That's one of the things he's being criticized about, being too close to Putin. Of course, Hitler is not Trump. Trump is just using the white supremacists to more neoliberal. I'm not quite sure I understand that. Trump is not KKK or fascist. It will help you. The U.S. has never been. Trump is affecting France by this protest, and he could care less about France. I don't know if he could care less about France, but I would agree that, I don't think this specific protest is on his radar screen, but I'm sure, he's got some political savvy people around him, and I'm sure they're looking at the fact that there's worldwide protests about an incumbent president, so it is a little bit unusual. Turn your TV off, it's negative propaganda. I would have to agree with you that there is a lot of biased views in the media today, especially in the U.S. And a lot of other countries. We work hard to try to keep the news media unbiased, but in the U.S. There's definitely very strong opinions expressed by the major news networks. She wanted to change. You ask what candidate they supported. Well, the two women I talked to, I believe, were both Hillary supporters, but we probably should have asked just to be sure. They're a bunch of entitled losers. Too bad their parents didn't exercise their rights to abort. Wow. You're a biased 2-year-old. Am I? Let me know. If you catch me saying something biased, call me out. I love that. There were people complaining on Periscope that there was too much praying at the inauguration. I didn't hear that, but I'm not too surprised. I was a little bit surprised by the God references in his inaugural speech, and obviously to a European audience, that's would be surprising anyways. But I even think for an American inaugural speech, there was quite a few references. Was impressed Hillary went to the inaugural. Yeah, I would have been very disappointed if she hadn't gone to the inaugural. I think that, I was watching some of these commentators last night talking about this. I spent 5 hours at the studio talking about this. So I got a lot of chance to talk myself and to watch other commentators from around the world. And one of the things I thought was very interesting that one of the very anti-Trump person said, which I thought was self-contradictory. He said, this inauguration is supposed to be about the peaceful transfer of power, and it's about the office of the presidency and not the individual. So he was citing that as a criticism of Trump. But I don't think if you listen to Trump's word that he really was making it about himself. I think all of his words, he tried to make it about the people. But interestingly enough, the congressmen who boycotted the inaugural, a lot of them, if not all of them, made it specifically about the person and not about the office, not about the peaceful transfer of power. So I thought that was somewhat hypocritical. I guess he didn't know about the riots from the left. Yes. He was commenting on the riots. Marine, she never became president of French people. If Hillary won the electoral vote and lost power, they'd be telling us to deal with it. Yeah, I think you see a little bit of hypocrisy on both sides when it comes to these things. I mean, prior to the election, Hillary's and her people were criticizing Donald Trump for not being willing to accept the results of the election. And then the first thing that happened when they lost was many of them turned around and started complaining about the election results. So I think there's a good case to be made for some hypocrisy there. Get closer. Okay, let's get closer. You can see this goes on for a long distance. So at the end, we'll let all these people pass us. Oui, c'est pour ça que je le regarde. J'ai fait attention. Merci. Le Pen must win. I'll tell you, I think it's very, very unlikely for Le Pen to win. Now, she may win the first round. We have a 2-round system for presidential elections in France. It's possible she might win the first round. I would be very, very surprised. Yeah, I would doubt very much she has any chance of winning the second round. But we do have a 2-round system in France. You know, if the U.S. had a 2-round system, Bernie Sanders might be president right now. The same was said about Trump. It is true that many people and a lot of the experts and the conventional wisdom said Trump will never win, Trump cannot win. Even Barack Obama said on many occasions that Trump will never be president. It's not possible. Obviously, he was wrong. So yeah, we could be wrong when we say Le Pen will never be president, but I have to call it as I see it, and right now it seems very unlikely to the point of being impossible. So we would need some kind of major dramatic catastrophic event to happen, I would think, but I would say it's not possible. I am one of the people that did predict a Trump victory, though. Based on my reading of the opinion polls and things that I was seeing in the United States. What about the rights of a living unborn baby? He stole the election? How did he steal it?
He stole it,
How?
He's a huckster.
Yeah, okay, but how did he steal it exactly?
Well, it was a clever strategy of, playing the electoral college, but he's not the majority.
Yeah, but isn't that how the U.S. elections are run, by the electoral college?
Yeah, he's clever. He stole it. He used the system against the majority rule.
Yeah, but if the system is set up that way, is it really fair to call that stealing?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. I'm just reporting this. I'm sending this to a few thousand people around the world.
Oh, hello.
Are you familiar with Periscope? See all the hearts there?
No, I don't do that.
Oh, okay.
But thank you.
Sure.
Thanks for covering it.
We got, this is what we got. Let's,
1,500 people?
right now, yeah. Watching it
Now we're
live.
streaming?
Yeah. All right. Some of them speak English, some of them speak all different languages. Okay, no. Thanks a lot. No, Syria Law says someone. All right, asking a Europe about the electoral college. He's an American, I think. You're from the States, aren't you?
From New York City.
He's from New York City, guys, so he's not a European. He's from New York. And
President of Friends of City Hall Park in New York City.
Friends of City Hall Park.
Yeah,
Oh, very cool.
activist.
Okay. Did you, if you don't, if you don't mind answering, did you vote in the election?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
I worked during the election for 2 weeks.
You know, I covered another anti-Trump protest that we had just before the election.
Yes.
There was a guy with a very huge sign,
Yes.
and it had a picture of Donald Trump and Hitler next to each other.
Oh.
And it was just after the election. I'm sorry. So, anyways, I asked
sore
him.
loser.
Well, I asked him. One of the questions I asked him was if he voted,
Yes.
and he said no, he actually hadn't voted. So a lot of people, even some people, the demonstrators,
Yes.
said it wasn't really right for him to be there complaining if he didn't even vote.
I don't go along with that. You
Oh,
can
okay.
complain.
Yeah,
whatever.
yes, right.
You're allowed to complain.
But he should have voted,
You're
right?
in France, you can
Yeah,
complain.
yeah,
about it.
exactly. But he should have voted, right? At least,
Well,
if he feels that strongly about it.
I think that the electoral system is flawed, but I think
Yeah.
there's an obligation to participate. And
I mean, if you feel so strongly that he's
feels-
Hitler,
It feels good. It feels good to participate.
it feels good to participate.
Yeah.
All right. And even in a flawed system. Do you want to see a change to a popular vote system?
Well, I want first to be campaign finance reform, and
Yeah.
second of all, the gerrymandering has to, the election districts have to be more fair. So those are the first two things, and then after that, you want to deal with the electoral college, that would be fine.
Oh, all right.
But we need progressive leaders. We need people that are young, that are it's going to take 10 years to clean up the mess that Trump is going to make, and we have a chance after Trump to make the world to the place that we want it. an egalitarian society with tolerance for people and love and saving the planet and getting away from the material world.
And do you live in France now?
I live in France this week.
This week?
For 2 weeks.
Oh, and then you're going back?
Exhibition at a gallery called Trez.
Oh, Trez, so we have to check that out.
You should go to Trez, 24 Rue Moret.
Which arrondissement is that in?
I think maybe 11.
In the 11th. Okay, we'll have to check that out. Trez, right?
Trez, yeah.
Trez, all right, we'll check it out.
Rue Moret. It's called The Video Freak.
Okay.
It's about activism in the
Maybe we'll
70s.
go there.
Please go.
All right.
Bring your device.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, so there you go. So you want to check if he actually voted. He says he voted. He's only in France for 2 weeks, so he probably just voted regularly.
I voted absentee.
Oh, you did vote absentee.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
I was working for a candidate I couldn't get home.
Oh.
Zephyr Teachout. She's one of the leaders we met.
Oh, very good.
Zephyr Teachout.
All right. So he voted by absentee ballot. Well, that was an interesting vote. Well, yeah, he said Trump stole the election, but I pressed him on specifics on how Trump stole the election. And ironically enough, he said Trump stole the election by going after the Electoral College votes and gaming the system to get the Electoral College votes. But I said, but that's how U.S. elections are based. But he still feels that stealing. But I did ask him about that. You protest these bots coming in your scope. Yeah, we do get bots sometimes. He used the same system. Yeah, Hillary. Yeah, I mean, both parties know what the system is and try to work that system. So they spend their money and their resources based on those swing states that they think they have a chance of winning, trying to make sure they don't lose any of their states that they consider to be firm states. Liberals always complain to someone. Look at all these people gathering here. How many people? Whoa, we got a ton of people, guys. So this looks like it's going to be the final stopping point of this demonstration. You can see it's lots and lots of people. Trump followers. Well, most of these people are probably not Trump followers because it's a protest. Campaign finance, gerrymandering, electoral college. Spot on with that. He did mention those specific things because I asked him if he would like to see the electoral college replaced, and then he mentioned that there are other things that also need to be fixed, perhaps in priority, including campaign finance reform and gerrymandering. Throw a net over in the crowd. You need a very big net because we're talking about, look at this. How many people? Lots of people. We'll have to get a crowd count. At least they aren't smashing windows. Yes. They need to get over. Trump's. You know, I covered a previous anti-Trump protest right after the election, and there was no violence there either. So it was very peaceful protest, especially by French standards. In French protests, it's not too uncommon if you have a very big protest that we have a small minority of troublemakers that like to join the protest and throw rocks and break windows and that kind of stuff. Trump said he beat the system with the taxes, so why doubt him beating the system with elections? I don't know if he used the term "beat the system" with the taxes, but yeah, he used the system. And I guess the question I would have for you, I mean, if the government makes those types of tax deductions and tax credits available, why wouldn't he avail himself of it? I mean, I don't know of too many people that disregard credits and deductions that they're entitled to and not use them, but the irony of the French being against the man that wants to take out ISIS. Well, that's a good point, but, you know, people are capable of thinking about multiple positions, right? I mean, you could agree with Trump on one position and disagree with him on another. You believe in the EU, nobody should vote for Le Pen. Hello, Euro. He's smart, took advantage of a broken government system. But, you know, I would think that if people are angry about that their anger should be directed at the Congress and have them change the tax code so people aren't able to take advantage of that type of credit. A lot of these Americans live here. Some of these Americans visit here. And then you've also seen that there's some French people here as well.
Everybody is welcome here, no hate, no fear. Everybody is welcome here, no hate, no fear. Everybody is welcome here, no hate.
Let's see if we can listen. Hi, can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
Okay, I'm doing a live broadcast on Twitter, Periscope. So, what do you guys? Why are you guys here?
I'm currently terrified by the state of the country and the impact that the U.S. president has on the rest of the world.
Okay. What do you you mind if I go this way because of the sun?
I believe in human rights.
Uh-huh.
I believe in gender equality. I believe in tolerance. Liberty.
Do you feel that those things are being threatened?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm currently terrified at the fact that Donald Trump is president because I don't find him to be stable or kind. I mean, on so many different levels.
You mean like mentally stable, or you mean politically stable, or?
In general, actually, probably in both senses.
In both senses, okay.
He doesn't believe in climate change. I'm worried about the world, not just the United States.
So the climate change, the human rights.
Human rights, gender equality, openness. We are a country of immigrants. And he just goes against everything I believe in on so many levels.
And do you live in France now?
I do.
Okay.
Do.
Were you able to vote in the election?
I went back to vote, yeah.
Oh, you went back to vote. Wow.
I was really excited.
Okay.
And obviously the outcome was not.
All right. Well, thanks so much for answering these questions. All right. So there you go. Another American living in France who voted in the election. And she stated over and again, she's actually terrified. Is an interesting word to use, but she is terrified by the Donald Trump presidency. She said she's concerned about women's rights, human rights, climate change, etc. She also said that she felt Donald Trump was not stable. So I tried to pinpoint what she meant by that. Rosie O'Donnell has also accused Donald Trump of being mentally unstable. So, okay. We got all these people saying not their president.
Not my president! 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 Not my president!
We've got some nasty women here. Happy to be nasty women.
Will never be divided. The women united will never be divided. The women united will never be divided. Women united will never be divided. Women united will never be divided. The 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 women united.
Now, that is a very interesting chant to me. The women united will never be divided. So now, if you think about it, anybody that's united wouldn't be divided, because that's the definition of united. So I think the expression should be the women united should never be defeated. Now that would make more sense, or that they would win. But to say that they'd never be divided, by definition, if they're united, they wouldn't be divided. So I think it's a phrase that got turned incorrectly.
Love Trump's hate. Love Trump's hate. Love Trump's hate.
Yeah, they needed a rhyme.
Love Trump's hate. Love Trump's hate. Love Trump's hate. Love Trump's hate.
Love Trump's hate, they're saying that.
Love Trump's hate. 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 Love Trump's hate.
Girls just want to have fundamental rights.
Love Trump's hate. Love Trump's hate.
You're getting a headache. But look how many people are here, guys. Can't wait to see what the numbers are. But you can see there's a lot of people.
Yes, we can.
Yes, they can.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Well, the one woman accused them of not being good at people skills. So I was like, well, if he wasn't good at people skills, how did he get all those votes?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
25 million payout for fraud. He's just getting started, says David Uygur. Let's walk around a little bit, see what's going on here. You can see so many different organizations. You can see the Eiffel Tower there in the distance. We're just in front of what's called the Champ de Mars, which is the field of Mars. Mars being the god of war, and it has a beautiful grass garden in front of the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, of course we're allowed to have crowds and allowed to have protests. Here we have a French chant.
Nous sommes 52%, nous sommes puissantes. Nous sommes 52%, nous sommes puissantes.
Even we have a dog.
Nous sommes 52%, nous sommes puissantes. 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 Nous sommes 52%, nous sommes puissantes.
They're circling around a dog. Hey there, can we interview you?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, it's up to you.
Okay.
You say yes or you say no.
No worries.
Well, we got to go this way because of the sun. All right. So why are you here?
To support because support women, support against Trump.
Support women against Trump. Is Trump doing something against women?
Yeah, I think so.
What's that?
Whatever he can get away with.
Whatever he can get away with. What has he gotten away with so far?
A lot of negativity.
Negativity towards women? From his comments, or?
Yeah, and from his expectations of what he's going to do.
Well, what is he going to do? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What are you concerned about that he might do?
Oh, well, you know, he's a fascist, so I'm afraid he's going to kill his opponents.
Literally? Like kill them?
Yeah, sure.
Like pull out a gun and start shooting? Have someone do it?
Yeah, have someone do it.
All right.
Or people do it for him anyhow.
Uh-huh.
I don't think
He's got money.
control it. Well, and he can't control it either.
All right.
He has people saying, "Hail Trump," you know.
All right. Well, thanks so much. Did you see the inaugural speech?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
Oh, it was horrible, yeah.
What was horrible about it?
Oh, I don't remember all the details. I know that I had the feeling that it was like a classic fascist speech.
Classic fascist speech.
That's what I thought.
Like Hitler?
Yeah.
Like Hitler. All right. A lot of commentators said that yesterday. Hey. All right. Well,
Yeah,
thanks so
me
much.
too. I'm one of them.
All right.
I'd say that.
Thanks so much for answering
No
questions.
problem.
All right.
Yes.
I'll see you in a few minutes. All right. So there you go. So another American in Paris with very strong views about Donald Trump said he's a fascist and that he was worried that Donald Trump would kill his opponents. And I asked him if he was just like being figurative, but he said in the literal sense, not necessarily do it himself, but would hire other people to kill his opponents. It's pretty interesting. France became a shadow techno country with feminist votes, said someone. Get some with more information. Yeah, we're trying to get a cross section of all the people here, but so far we've interviewed about 3 or 4 people, but we'll get a few more. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Must be a Fish concert nearby.
I would not be surprised if he seems
Look at this sign. Hear our voice. All right. Thank you. We'll see. Maybe we can ask this guy. Hi, can I ask you some questions, sir? On camera? Do you mind? Okay, great. So, why you want to be on camera as well? You mind? I'm filming for a group of people on Periscope. It's a live streaming of Twitter. So why are you guys here today?
So I'm visiting Paris.
Oh, okay.
From the States.
From which state?
Georgia.
Georgia. And you support this movement, or you're more? Oh, so you do support it?
You know, I'm from a voting district that voted, I think, 89% Trump.
Wow.
And it boggles my mind that you see all the hate and just the things bragging about sexually assaulting women, and he becomes the president. It just.
Do you think that statement alone should disqualify him from being president?
Yes. Yeah. I don't see why a leader of how 150 million women should be president after saying he likes to grab them.
Just out of curiosity, would you say the same thing about Bill Clinton?
Yeah, I'm egalitarian, right?
Yeah.
So, if Bill Clinton had come out beforehand that he had done that, I wasn't alive at the time.
Yeah.
So, then it's.
I mean, allegations came out during his election, but he denied them. And then after the election, it came out that it was true, and he admitted it.
I'm surprised it didn't have more effect, and it's sad that it didn't.
Okay.
Even if that would have meant a Republican president, I don't think, regardless of politics, if you assault women, if you say the things that Trump and, other politicians have said, you shouldn't be leading a country where the majority of people, find that abhorrent.
Okay, fair enough. And I take it you voted, right?
Yes.
Okay. And let me ask you, if he hadn't said that, would you still be against him for other things? against Trump.
Well, if hadn't said the
Yeah, let's say I mean, obviously it happened.
Yes,
we got
yes,
the tape, but if it hadn't happened,
there are other, again, his certain policies and things I don't agree with. His, you know, he just signed yesterday, first day in office, telling the executive branch they could ignore, you know, the ACA.
Yeah, I saw that.
You give 20 million? You give millions of people health care because because the system in America is, we spend the highest portion of our GDP on healthcare.
Right.
It's ridiculous. And so you give these people the healthcare they need, you have lives being saved, and it just boggles my mind that you would just take that away.
All right.
And he's saying, we'll replace it. But yesterday he just essentially started the, getting rid of it.
Yeah, untangled it there. So what do you guys hope to accomplish today?
I hope it brings, awareness and, not that there isn't awareness, but awareness and unity and, just, not giving in, right? Not resigning yourself to, for however many years of, Trump and his administration and their policies. I think, kick and scream and fight the whole way along.
All right.
Don't give an inch.
All right.
As soon as you give an inch, you give a mile.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. There's a lot of people here today, so a lot of people probably share your views on this. All right, thank you guys so much. All right, so there we have a guy from Georgia and his views on it. You can see very different from the previous guy. So he's really more about awareness. Could you find some protest against Merkel? That would be good. We got French queers against Trump, held by this woman, not your president. So not the president of the French queers, apparently. Hi there. Bonjour, madame. Puis-je vous poser des questions sur Internet?
Si vous voulez nous poser des questions, il faudra pas nous filmer au niveau de la tête, genre au niveau du buste.
Ok.
Ouais.
Ouais, comme ça? D'accord. Vous? D'accord.
Non, enfin, moi, non, je préfère.
Moi non plus, j'aime.
Ok, d'accord. Merci quand même. Okay, so they didn't want to ask any questions. First they said I could film them as long as I didn't film their heads. Their faces are already covered with a scarf. And then at the last minute they decided not to do it at all. So there you go. I'm not quite sure what they're afraid of, but there you go. You're moving to Canada. Oh, I've heard that from a lot of people. We'll see how many people actually do that. You speak well. Thank you. If Trump's not your president, yeah, they're both. Apparently, they're French, I would say. So technically, he's not their president, anyways, or not even technically. He's just not their president. More French hate. That's fabulous if they all move to Canada. Yeah, if they move to Canada, then Trump's majority just increases. Canada is the same. How is it the same? I mean, I'm not quite sure what you mean by Canada is the same. French fries are overrated. There's a debate about whether French fries are even French. So there's legitimate claims that could be made by Belgium. Lots of people say it's actually Belgium. But there are some claims, French claims as well. There you go. So should follow Snoopy Doggy to Canada promise that they don't either. I don't know what that means. Hide your face too. Canada's same, but no one lives there. Yeah, the population density in Canada, very, very low. So let's see what this sign says. We got a cat sign here with claws. Merci. Let's see if we can find some more people. We got more signs. Republicans are cult followers, says someone who aren't able to research policy to understand it. Borders protect their country. Well, you know, it's interesting because when you interview some of these people, I mean, I think it might be questionable about how much policy people understand. We prioritize cheap labor for jobs we didn't want to do for a long time. Hire Americans, says someone. He's not been in office for 25 people. Yeah, people are freaking out, even as he was being inaugurated. You know, it's not the first time that it's happened really in U.S. history. I mean, we had some animosities between presidents in succession. So if you go back to Andrew Johnson, for instance, while Ulysses S. Grant was being inaugurated, Andrew Johnson was holding a cabinet meeting at the same time, and he was doing signing last-minute legislation, and of course boycotted the inauguration because he had other things to do. So we've had some acrimonious transfers of power. Not too many. I think there's been 5 that I can think of where a president didn't attend the inauguration of his successor. One of them, he actually rode with the successor to the Capitol for the inaugural. He just didn't attend. And 4 where they were really... Hey there. Can we ask you some questions on camera?
Yeah, you may not like my answers.
That's okay.
Even
better if we don't like. It's just a random public. It's on Twitter live streaming.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so you got to be careful with your answers. No, just kidding. We've had answers that run the whole gamut from.
The thing is, I'm not so much a participant as an observer.
That's like me. I'm an observer.
I'm not one who participates in. As much as I agree with all the sentiment, I don't participate.
But you do agree with it, though.
I agree with the sentiment.
Now we're getting there.
But I don't participate.
Okay.
So
Well,
you're not going to see me carrying a sign.
No.
Or being
But let me just ask you a question then. What is it that you are agreeing with? What's this all about?
It goes beyond just the. I mean, the women's issues is a big part of it. But I'm disgusted with Trump, and I lament the whole situation that we're in. And I don't have a solution other than a mourning period.
But what is it exactly? Like you said, like with women's issues. What is Trump? How is Trump involved in women's issues?
You know what? To be honest with you, I've got a 5-month baby at home.
Yeah,
and I haven't really
that's
been
your preoccupation.
I haven't been focusing.
That's the woman in your life, right?
But she's my daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
So I care about the issues for her.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, it's not. I haven't put enough thought into it. Other than the meta thought, which is that yes, obviously women's rights and everybody's rights are important.
Right.
And I am disgusted by what Trump has said, like everybody else. But it's not just what he said about women, but so many other things. And I won't go into the laundry list that everybody knows about, so.
Well, did you vote in the election?
Oh yeah, I voted.
Okay.
I have a photo documentary proof of me.
You can prove it if we need it.
To
All
the
right.
post office.
You never know when you might need
my
that.
My sister has that somewhere.
And I take it wasn't for Trump.
No.
Okay. So what would you say is the main reason not to be for Trump?
God, I haven't really thought hard enough to condense it down into one answer.
Too many reasons. Can't think just one.
How long does it take to make chickens? I got to boil it down for a while and to get the real chicken.
All right, just too much to think about.
There's too much to think about. I don't even know where to begin. I think my most fundamental thing I said to people is that I grew up in New York City at a time when Trump in the 70s and 80s was like this laughable figure. That was just like this laughable public figure who was building buildings and had this sort of dumb personality, and you just laughed at him. And to see this guy now in the White House is just like, how the hell did we get here from there? And that's the most fundamental thing that I have in my mind. And then you attach everything he said and everything he's for, and the way he behaves. And it's the same laundry list that everybody has. I'm not going to add anything original.
All right.
It's just my own, personal reflection.
Well, thanks so much for answering the questions. Congratulations on your daughter. That's the most important thing out of all of this.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Are you still live? So you can't stay in chat, right?
I can't stay in chat right now, but maybe I'll find you later. And I just got to wrap this up.
Go.
I did 5 hours on television last night.
Wow.
Because usually, what channel were you on?
Oh, well, I don't want to say, but because I'm live.
Not the same, right?
Well, because I'm live, yeah. But usually I do a 1 hour show, but yesterday it was like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Which during the debate it was like 3 hours, but that's a long time.
Can I say one last thing about
I was
Trump?
like, more water, sure. One last thing
about
Trump.
The gold-tilted furniture has got to go. The level of taste that he brings.
Bring gold throughout the White House? Just like gold plate everything, right?
I have a lot of respect for the White House. A lot of people have lived there. There's history. It's great. But this gold-tinged Trump Tower taste from New York to the White House? No, that's just,
all right.
that's bad.
All right, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right, so there you go. Interesting views. Now, what I got out of that, let me see what you guys got out of that. I thought it was very interesting because on the one hand, he had very strong, vehement reactions against Trump. When I asked about Trump, he's like, I totally support this movement. He's totally against Trump. Trump is horrible. And then when I tried to push him on specifics, like he mentioned women's issues, I said, well, what is it about women's issues? Well, he said, well, you know, he's not familiar with it because he's been busy. Okay. And then when I asked him, well, give me a reason why not to vote for Trump or why not to vote for Trump, and he's like, well, there's too many. He can't name any. So I thought it was interesting. Interesting. That was your take on it. Look at how many people are here. You don't like his furniture? Yeah, he did mention the furniture. I guess I should say that there was some specificity there with the furniture. He despises everything different, that's why. Whatever makes people feel good, but it means nothing. Trump has poor character, says someone. He thinks Trump is stupid, a dumb guy that built buildings. Yeah, but he didn't say that. He may think that. Liberals are so tolerant. We protested the 60s, but we protested the war. Yeah, I mean, the 60s, I mean, the protests were fairly specific. He said nothing. All these protests are not a down-up movement. They have a lot of funds. No one has said anything with substance. Well, I don't know about that. I think a couple people said some things with substance, but there were quite a few people who were hard to pin down. Typical mainstream voter. Let's see. Did we talk to these people yet? No, we didn't talk to these people. Let's see. Ask a woman whether they hate. I will ask them. The 60s, it was about Vietnam, understandable. The protests need to stop. Well, they're kind of busy. Oh, we got a band going here. People jumping up and down. Let's see. Palo. Pardon.